Hey everyone, Chris Sawyer here. Welcome back to the Varietal Show. I am in an amazing place right now. I am at Nick's Cove, and we're out here at Tomales Bay, and I'm here with Dena Grunt, and we are going to talk about her amazing book. This just came out, you guys, and this is the real deal. And we are sitting inside this building right now. Enjoying fine mimosas.
Fine
mimosas.
Cheers.
Um, if none of you have ever been to this place, it's the real deal. I'm lucky to have grown up in Sonoma County, and I live right on the Sonoma-Marin County border. This is from my house. It's about 35 minutes. A great drive too, though. I mean, that's the fun thing. It's really pretty as you get out close to the ocean here. And, you're from Lake County.
I am.
What brought you here?
Oh, gosh. So I grew up in Lake County, graduated, moved to Santa Rosa to go to the JC.
Right. I went there too.
Yes, right. Yeah. So then I did the JC, but then I worked a little bit. It took me a little bit longer to get through the JC. And then I transferred to San Francisco State. But in the middle of transferring, I moved to Petaluma for a very short period of time. And in that short period of time, this really cute guy moved in next door to me.
Sweet.
Yeah. So then we started dating.
Yep.
And then, almost 25 years later. So I never made it I never moved to San Francisco, but I did commute into the city to San Francisco State.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great school too, you guys. My brother went to San Francisco State. Yeah. It's amazing. Here we are. We're sitting out here in an amazing place. Tell us a little bit about the building itself, where the restaurant is, and what it was before it became Nick's Cove.
Well, I mean, it really was exactly what it is today. Just not as nice, not as beautiful. But I mean, Nick Koyich built this in not this one, because the original one did burn down. Yeah. But he built a restaurant and a bar, a roadside bar for people to come up from San Francisco or wherever they were coming from to come up and take a load off. Right. Grab a beer, a cocktail, whatever, go fishing. Yep. I mean, back in that day, they would then bring their catch in and, someone would cook it up in the kitchen. We can't do that today.
No, it doesn't work that way anymore, you guys. If you have a camp spot, you can. If you have a grill at your house, you can. But don't bring food into restaurants to tell them to cook it. Don't do that.
There is someone locally that got in trouble for that years ago. Yeah. Not us.
Yeah.
But so I mean, really, and then there were cottages. There were places. Some of the people that worked here lived here. Of course, Nick and Francis, his wife, lived here, and then their niece and nephew. Andrew and Dorothy ultimately bought into the ownership, and then they lived here. They raised their daughter Judy here.
Wow.
So
so cool.
It really is, and then nobody lives here anymore, but it's still this amazing place where if you're coming up from the city or the East Bay or Sacramento, you come over to the coast, you get out of that valley heat.
Yeah. It's a total destination. I do have some friends that went to Tomales High, believe it or not. Wow. Oh, and Tomales Bay is out here. At my house, which is on the Sonoma-Marin County border, we actually get the air really through Tomales Bay, which is different than the rest of kind of the Petaluma Gap, which gets it from the Bodega Head.
Right.
So there's something really, I feel like me and Tomales are real close, you know? And I love coming out here. It's been a little while, as we all know. Traveling has been a little cut because of last year and even this year. But here we are. We're sitting in this great thing. And if you guys see it, like on here, it doesn't show exactly how long, but this is a little bit better, actually, even on the back here, where you can see exactly how far, the table with a view, and that's where we're sitting. We're sitting at the table with a view, you guys. The restaurant itself has a great view. Do not get me wrong. But this building has always enchanted me, and it's so great. What got you really into this? I mean, you started here in 2010?
Yes.
And now you're part owner.
Yes.
And you really, you did so much to put this place on the map and to make it a great destination. But you were really driven by this. Tell us a little bit about this book.
Well, so when I first came here, Ruth Gibson was still with us in terms of, she passed away several years ago. And so she would come in. She lived in Bodega, and she would come in every now and then, and she was such a presence. I mean, if anyone can remember, like anyone that, if any of your listeners know her, like she had the big hair, the big nails, the big jewelry, and she just was a presence.
Yeah.
And she was a storyteller.
Yeah.
And she had all kinds of amazing stories. Stories from when she and her husband Al owned it, and stories that she had heard, from when the Koyiches and the Makoviches owned it.
Very cool.
And I remember thinking, like, somebody needs to write this down. And so I started writing notes after I would have lunches with her every now and then. And then I always thought, like, this place is so iconic. Yeah. It needs a book. It needs a cookbook. It needs a historical. It needs something to kind of capture all that this place was, it has been, is, and will be. Yeah. And, I don't know what this place will be in another 5, 10, 15, 20 years, but I hope that it will always have some of that soul that you find in the stories that I hope that, all of your readers read.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, you got a little quote on the back by Ryan Scott. I love that chef, Ryan Scott. Remarkable guy, and he's super fun. Yeah. The food here is so great. Obviously, we're coastal. I mean, we're here on the coast, you guys. The real ocean is just down the way here, but we are on Tomales Bay, which is super cool. And it's really, it makes Marin such a great destination. And technically, we are right on the Sonoma-Marin County border here. It's really been fun. I mean, how have you seen, like, you started here in 2010. Obviously, it's gotten popular. I mean, what are some of those things that you were like, oh man, people are kind of on to us? What were some of those signs?
Well, okay, so a couple of things. One, I wanted to have annual events, something that people are like, oh, this is where we go. Yeah. So like, I started the Santa Claus comes here. We're very exclusive. Like he's like literally like here in the boat shack. He arrives by his water sleigh, and
so cool.
Last year, interestingly enough, I don't know if you remember the second shutdown.
Right, it happened.
Was on a Monday, and the Sunday was the Sunday of Santa. Ooh. So he made it just under. Right,
Santa
just
was
under.
pretty wise
he was
about
like,
this stuff.
I gotta get to Tomales Bay. Yep. That was our 10th annual.
Oh my gosh!
And we had a live band, and there was like extra cookies and extra hot chocolate and stuff. And so it's that kind of stuff where people are like, I've seen because we do professional photographers. It's all free. Yeah. So you come, you bring your whole family, you can have pictures, and then we upload the photographer uploads them, and you can download them for free. It is our gift.
So cool.
To the community. Mostly because I really love Santa.
Santa's pretty cool, you guys.
Yes.
Get that in, put that in your notes.
Yes.
Santa's
First
cool.
Sunday of December.
Note to self, Santa's cool.
Santa's very cool. So that thing, like when the community really started coming out for those kind of events, and like for example, this year is our second annual Jack-o'-lanterns on Javelins.
Oh.
So we get a bunch of pumpkins, like so many pumpkins.
Okay, we got to come to that.
Yeah,
for sure.
it's the Sunday before Halloween.
Okay, great.
So, and it will always be the Sunday before Halloween, whatever date that falls on. So it's Sunday, it's like 11 a.m. to dusk. You carve your pumpkin, you leave it, and we put it on a javelin, and we put it on the shore, and then we light them at dusk and sunset. And it is, I was like crying last year. It was so pretty.
Oh gosh.
It was so fun to see all these families out there just carving, kids, adults. And then they would just go in, have lunch, or they did it after lunch, or they did it before dinner. Yeah. It's that kind of sentimentality that I think brings people here. Not only is it has always been a place where people have memories. Yes. Whether they've proposed to someone here, whether they've been married here, whether they've celebrated an anniversary or a family. This is the place where memories are made.
Exactly, you guys. Did you hear that? It's a place where memories are made.
It really is.
They're preserved here.
Yes.
This is a storytelling place. I mean, just looking around here, there's a boat right above us. There's a big kind of a fishing line over here. We've got lights over there. There's a piano sitting right here. If you play piano, and you can walk in here. I mean, this is sometimes people eat here every day. If
Yes.
you can claim it for yourself, because you can order from back here. You can get on the phone, like it's an actual dial phone. Crazy. When was the last time you used one of those?
Right. Well, that's because there's not a lot of cell service.
Yeah, there is not much cell service. But it's a fun. I think you got that too from Dena. It's just like how fun it is out here. There's a fun factor out here. And it's about enjoying life. I always think about that when I come out here to Nick's Cove and just to the coast in general. I mean, we do have some of the great oyster places just down the road from us.
Yes.
We're very close to Marshall, too. We've got all of these kinds of things that are happening. There's Tomales, the little town of Tomales, which is kind of a little bit more inland there. Super cute, quaint.
Super cute. Oh my
super
gosh.
duper
There
cutie.
have been so many new things happening in the little town of Tomales. Like the William Tell is just killing it.
Yeah.
The bakery, all fun things.
I know.
And so people are really coming up and making even more of a day of spending it in West Marin.
Yeah. Well, it's really the coast of Northern California. And I mean, this is such a classic area here. And it's right above Point Reyes, too. So Point Reyes National Seashore. So you can actually go down there. Just actually stay here in the cottages. It's even better. Did I suggest? Am I suggesting a lot for you guys to do? Remember, write that one down. Santa's cool. Staying in cottages in Nick's Cove. Pumpkins are cool. Dena's super cool. You have to get her book. Duh. But I think that just really why I just wanted to come out here. She has a great Instagram site too. Her and I are super Instagram buddies. And I just said, when this book came out, I said, I am going to hunt you down. I'm coming out there. I'm going to have lunch out there, of course.
Yes.
I mean, you can't come here and not eat here.
No.
It's too cool. And I think that's why it's just so fun. It's like twist my arm. No, you don't need to, because it's super.
It was
fun.
like
barely. Yeah. She's like, oh, win. So I mean, I think you guys get the enthusiasm that we feel here, and why this building is kind of a superconductor of just enthusiasm, and why Tomales Bay is so great. To be really honest, I'm going to tell you something kind of hardcore. Last year, for August, I totally when the lightning struck.
Yeah.
I looked directly due west from my house, and I thought, is Tomales still there, or is Marshall still there? Because all I was seeing is due west from my house is out here, and I was scared to death of what was happening out here. It obviously wasn't that far, or it was even further than that. My perception at 4 o'clock in the morning, not very good, especially since I didn't have my glasses on. But it was in this direction, and that's why I was concerned.
It was.
And being out here today just makes me feel so great. It's a great escape, you guys, but it's also just a great destination. Even if you live in the North Bay, just being able to come out here during the day, or just if you come to stay here in Napa, Sonoma, go to the Great Wine Country, come out here to the Bay, because it's very special. You can get boats to paddle out here. You can go to the dunes just down the road. You can get oysters from Hog Island Oyster Company. You can just sit here and have great lunch or great dinner with you and the team here. Superstars. Tell us just a little bit about the chef, because he's so great.
Oh, Kua. So Kua has a great history with Nick. So he was a sous chef under Austin Perkins for several years. And then, as sous chefs do, there's not a lot of movement if the executive chef isn't going anywhere. So he left to take an executive chef position. And then it was just the timing. It was a couple of years later, and Austin left to start. He got married. He now has 2 beautiful girls. And he started a catering business. He wanted a change of pace for his family life. Totally respect that.
Understood.
So Kua had found out that we were it was just kismet, total kismet. He was ready to do something else, and we were ready to have someone else. And he came back as our executive chef. So he came back with this, one, he was in charge. 2, this place is not your typical restaurant, like in, a space in San Francisco. This is, we're on a well. We're on septic. We're in, there's no cell service. There's, you don't often get deliveries every week of food. It can flood.
Yeah.
So he came preloaded with all that information of having been here for so many years. So he just kind of slid right in and then just took over, and it's just been so fantastic.
That's great.
And he was instrumental in this cookbook. He, from the recipe standpoint, he took all the recipes, and I mean, you know, when you're making clam chowder, you know, for like 300 orders versus like for 8 people, it's very different. So to try and scale, he did a lot of work with the scaling and just figuring it all out. And I mean, this would not have happened without him. So, yeah. So
we've got a few guests here that are walking by with Bloody Mary, which sounds extremely good right now, and a great rosé in the glass.
I'm going to tell you exactly how good it is.
How good is it? Come on in. Yeah.
It's so good. I'm not going to tell you because you were here. That's how good it is.
Exactly. It's that good. You have to come here to find out how great it really is.
And since I've interrupted you,
Yes.
exactly what in the hell is going on out here?
I know. We're
I
talking
wanna
about
know.
her amazing book about
Is that
the
your
place.
book?
That is.
Yes.
It's Dena's.
This is like
It's
on
Dena's book.
Seinfeld when there was the coffee book, and it was a coffee table.
Yes.
Exactly.
This is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. But this is the table with the view, you guys.
It is.
Are you guys in there now, like a House of Mirrors?
Well,
Kinda. Wow.
That's me.
This is amazing.
This guy, I might
That's
have
me.
him be my assistant at certain points. I guess I just have to get him Bloody Mary. So, but
You don't
thanks.
have to, but that's the thought that counts.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Cheers.
Definitely. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. The Varietal Show will be back next week. We are having great fun, and we need to go in and have some Bloody Mary.
Yes, we do.
Ching.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.